Second. Again, for those of you here tonight, thank you. We welcome you. We're excited to have another night of Ignite. Again, just a reminder that next Tuesday's class has been moved to Monday night. And then Melissa wanted me to make an announcement. I know several of you have reached out to Melissa saying you were interested in possibly forming a group or finding a way to stay connected with the other members during this Ignite session. So you'll see that there's a link. If you guys would like to fill out that form, put in your contact information, then you guys can all stay in touch and be able to communicate offline as well, okay? With that, go ahead and turn it over to tonight's instructor. Steve, thank you.
Got it. Hi, guys. How are we doing tonight? We're going to stay awake?
Yes.
And I only get one affirmative. That's not good. Okay. So welcome tonight. We've got two things to cover tonight. A lot of great stuff that I think you're going to really enjoy. We're going to talk about prospecting and we're going to talk about marketing. And there are going to be two segments. And so what we're going to do is we are going to have a break at some point during the class. Give everybody about a 10-15 minute kind of go grab a cocktail or whatever you need to do before you come back to class. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So basically what we're doing tonight is we're going to you're going to be able to, by the end of this session, be able to talk about prospecting and talk about the different types of prospecting. You're going to be also kind of develop your own plan as you move forward from the information you're going to get tonight. You're also going to learn the difference between what prospecting is and what marketing is. They're very different things. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So bear with me as I get ready to share the screen. And just bear with me 1 second. And can everybody see that screen?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. That's good. All right. So let's get going. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about prospecting. All right. What is prospecting? We're going to learn tonight. We're going to learn about lead generating for buyers and sellers. And we're going to learn how to grow that business and get you into production quickly. So we're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about connect prospecting to lead generation. All right. Now, let's talk about it. First of all, what we're going to talk about is what's called the lead generation model. Okay. There's prospecting / marketing. Okay. So you see that funnel. Every sales company in the world's got funnels. All right. They've got funnels that are multiple. They got funnels that are singular. And so we're going to look at tonight is a kind of a real estate model, which can be used really for anything at all. We're going to talk about prospecting versus leads versus contacts. What are leads? Leads are tracking and offering. What are contacts? That's connecting and offering. But then what you want to do is you want to cultivate. Then what you, Then what you want to do from cultivate is you want to, bear with me. You got user error. Hang on as I go back. Sorry.
Steve, just a quick tip. Use the left arrow key on your keyboard to go backwards.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so prospecting marketing. So we're going to go back into lead. We talk about lead, contacts, cultivating, but then we have what we call, then we go to appointments, active, under contract, close. What does that mean? Then it's called rinse and repeat. You see how that arrow goes back up, okay? So that's an important thing to do and to know, okay? So what we're going to talk about now is what's called the 2 M's. That's message and method. So under message, you want to match your market. You want to target your audience. You want to look at marketing conditions. You want to make an offer. You want to direct an offer, indirect, and then response. And then 2 is method. Prospect, market, prepare, take action. All right. So let's talk a little bit about it. How do you guys right now, how do you message with your clients? Okay, so nobody's messaging your mark. Okay, so the way I message my clients now is I do it 3 ways. I do it by video, text, email, or those are the 3 ways that I do it. Okay, that's the way I message and get in front of my clients. All right, so you have to do it by your market. I'll give you an example. Messaging to someone that's a millennial versus someone that's of my generation, are they different? Or are they the same?
Different.
Definitely different.
Okay, how are they different? How would you market to message someone that's a millennial?
Through text, probably.
Okay. How about someone of my generation?
A
Email.
phone call, an email, a stop by.
A stop by. Excellent. Excellent. A stop by always works for my generation. Absolutely. So there are different ways to message, and there's also different ways to have as far as your method. There's prospect and there's marketing. They're very, very different things. And as we go through tonight, you're going to learn the difference between those 2 things. Okay. Okay. So marketing and prospecting are very different. And let's talk about that. Marketing is really money intensive. I know that as soon as you became an agent, your inbox started filling up with everybody wanting to sell you what?
Leads.
Leads. Or the best, fastest marketing that's going to put dollars in your pocket. That's what they're selling. It's money intensive, but it's passive. It takes a long time for it to work. There are long-term results, but it does take time. What are some examples, would you think, of marketing that you've seen, that you do yourself or you've seen other agents do? What kind of marketing do you see in your brokerages?
Postcards.
Postcards. Okay, now that's a good one. Is postcards something that happens quickly, or does postcards take time?
Time.
Okay, time. And let me explain to you what happens with that. You're building a relationship. And interesting enough, you're building a relationship through postcards. It takes anywhere from 6 to 8 months to have a return on that. I see it all the time. Agents will, and this is postcards coming to my house. Agents will send out a postcard, 1 or 2 postcards, and then I don't hear from them for 10 months. And then I get 1 or 2 postcards. Now, what's probably happening is they're going, oh my gosh, my listings have dried up. I need to go out and get more listings. And they'll run ads, they'll run postcards for 1 or 2 months. And then what ends up happening is they don't get anything out of it and they give up. It has to go on for a long time for it to pay off. There are long-term results, but it does take time. Now, prospecting is very different. Prospecting is time intensive, it's proactive, but you get immediate results. Okay, so prospecting on a daily basis, how many hours a day should you lead generate? How many? What's an example of what you hear from your coaches and from folks in your office?
2 to 3 hours a day.
2 to 3 hours. Okay. Now, do you have it on your calendar, or do you say, okay, I'm going to get to it today at some point? It should be on your calendar, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Lead gen is probably, I'd say, one of the few things in real estate that people absolutely don't like to do. I know one agent, he hates it so much. What he does on Mondays, he locks himself in his office and he lead gens for 10 hours because he hates it that much. He wants to get it out of the way, get all of his appointments as soon as he can. And once he has his appointments, I'm done for the week. That's his philosophy. So that's what prospecting is, but it does pay off. Okay, it does pay off, but you have to rinse and repeat and continue to do it day after day. Okay, prospecting. Let's take a look at this. On this list right here, I think I have probably I've done them all. How about you? What prospecting are you guys doing right now? Anybody want to share? Okay, prospecting. What I do and what I've done, and I'm going to talk about some of these, not all of them because there's so many. I'm going to talk about some of them. FSBOs are what I call low-hanging fruit. They're easy to get as are expired listings, but what are the secrets with them? You've got to figure out a way to work them. Here at our office, we have classes on FSBOs on how to work with them. Traditionally, building a relationship with them coming from what? Value and contribution. And you do that, you will win over at FSBOs. Absolutely. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to try to help them sell that house without a listing contract. You're going to give them advice, how to do this, how to do open houses. And what ends up happening is they finally wash their hands up and go, forget this stuff. I'm going to go with this guy because this guy's been not trying to sell me to list the house, but has been helping me all along. Same thing with expired listings. Prospecting, very important with expired listings. Expired listings, what are the easiest ones to go after? The ones that aren't angry anymore. Because when an expired listing happens, what happens initially? They're not happy because their house didn't sell for whatever reason. It could have been the price of the property. It could have been location. It could have been the agent. So what we teach is to go back and look at expired lists and go back, say, 6 months. Those people aren't angry anymore. They probably have given up. Maybe have thought again about possibly listing their house, but that's a good time to reach out to them. Circle prospecting is a massive way to get business. Neighborhoods, pick the area that you're going to work and work that neighborhood. Apartment complexes. We have an agent in our office that works apartments, and what he does is basically send out postcards. Wouldn't you like to be able to spend less for rent and own a property? That's how he does it. Recently sold listings, circle prospecting around that. Recently listed properties. There's an agent that I circle prospect around all the time. He's not a KW agent. He's an agent with someone else, but he's one of the top agents in the country. So what I do, I circle prospect around his listings. Because what is the case if one person lists with a sign? What are the chances that somebody else is going to list in the next week or two, the next month, the next 45 days, the next 60 days? So it's really important to circle prospect around them. Same thing with open houses, prospecting with open houses. It's so important to stay in to work around it. So what we would do on an open house, we would go around the neighborhood on a Friday before the open house on Saturday, invite folks in an hour early to see the property. Most of the time, honestly, they're coming there to just see what Joe or Mary did to their property and is you get any design ideas. But what ends up happening sometimes, you start building relationships with people that are going to sell their house down the road. So really good community outreach, charity, volunteer work, great ways to pick up business. Key relationships, corporations, builders, banks, third-party data companies. I have an agent in my coaching program that already has established a relationship with a lender and is already getting leads from a lender.
Steve, you have someone in the chat asking, what is circle prospecting?
Oh, thank you very much. Circle prospecting, what that is going around a particular neighborhood and prospecting around a listing, around a for sale by owner, in a particular neighborhood. For example, let's say in my neighborhood, I want to go for a listing. I will circle prospect around my neighborhood, the complex that I live in. That's what circle prospecting is. It can be done, how do I want to put this? It can be done around your listing. It can be done around someone else in your office's listing. It can be an agent from somewhere else. You can circle prospect by door knocking, by postcards, by golden letter. Everybody know what golden letter is? Yay, nay? Okay.
Yes.
What's
No.
that? Okay.
Yes.
Golden letter is something we KW does a lot in a lot of the brokerages. What golden letter is, it's a handwritten envelope in a multicolored envelope, red, green, blue, whatever. And inside is a call to action. Call to action is, do you know of anybody? I have buyers. That is what it is. Recently, what we decided to do with our next set of golden letters are going out, is we're sending out a letter for equity analysis. Would you like to know what your property is worth? What's interesting about golden letters is they're opened about over 90% of the time. Why? Because it's a multicolored envelope and it's a handwritten letter. I'm sorry, handwritten envelope. And so what they're seeing is something they don't see all the time. Because what are you going to do? If you get a handwritten envelope, you're going to open that envelope up. Absolutely. Now, what this also does is for people that are afraid to cold call. I know you're sitting there. I know some of you are out there that are afraid to cold call. This is your call to action. Because you've now sent out a letter to a house. You can then call them and say to them, Mr. Smith, did you get my letter that I sent you last week? That's your call. So it takes away that fear that a lot of people have about cold calling. Yes.
I'm sorry. After you send out your letters, how do you get the phone numbers of the people you sent the letters to?
Okay. There's a few ways. One of the ways that you can do it is through Remind, through the MLS. Within the MLS, there is a marketing tab to the right. And if you go in there, there is what's called Remind. In there, we'll have the name of the property. And traditionally, we'll have a lot of times we'll have their email address and also some phone numbers. And we'll tell you within that whether they're on the DNC. Okay, so you would get it through the marketing tab. Now, another way to do this, it's called True People Search. Okay, one word, True People Search. It is probably the only actually free way to look up people without getting all kinds of, you want to spend $19.99 to find out whether or not they've been divorced and have any judgments against them. It is a free site, and you go in, you put their name in, and it will tell you where they live. And many times we'll give you the phone number and we'll give you an email address. Now, what you do as far as a follow-up with the golden letter, what you do is you can put them on a smart plan. There are smart plans that are within command that will follow up for you automatically, or you can make the phone call. We have one agent that's doing golden letters, and what he's doing is the QR code. So he has the letter, and within it, they scan the code, and what the code does, it takes them right to his website. Very smart, very easy for him to do.
Steve, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
On the True People Search, if you put the name in and search for it, will they tell you if they're not on the DNC list or not?
Yeah, it in Remind and in True People Search, it will have, if they are DNC, it will be in red right by the number.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it will be right by the number so that you can see it. There are a couple other sites that we're exploring to determine whether they're going to work for us also, but I don't want to bring them up since we're still kind of researching them. So that's the gold. So the golden letter is a great way. Now, we've had some success with the program. We started in the fall, and out of it, we've received 3 listing appointments, and we've gotten 2 listings out of it. And interesting enough, one of the people that got one of the listings has only probably sent out about 50 letters, and she got a listing out of it. Another guy, he's done about 400, and his listing, I believe, is going to be in the $800,000 to $900,000 range. So it was worth it for a couple hours worth of work, wasn't it? Absolutely. So how about you guys? Have you tried any of these? Have you had any success with them? What are your thoughts about these different methods? Okay, so everybody hasn't tried anything. That's not good.
Well, I have tried door knocking, and I also did door hanging with my card and a little note.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to try the golden letter. Okay. And also there is a really massive apartment complex about maybe 10 minutes from me. I'm going to get all the addresses and start prospecting those renters to see if they would want to buy.
Okay. Yeah. Now they're going to bring up two things about that. One second. Is door knocking works really well, and you have to come with some kind of, you talked about a note, but what I would suggest is having some kind of a piece that is going to work for them. Is everybody familiar with smart charts in the MLS?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Smart charts is a great way to get in front of your customer and come from that contribution. Now, what Smart Charts does is it's on the marketing tab across the MLS, right in the marketing tab right below Remind that I've been talking about. Now, what Smart Charts does, by zip code specific, you can get all the details for what's going on in that neighborhood. And so what I tell folks to do is the zip codes that they're working is every month print out 10 or 15 of those different ones that they're the zip codes that you're working and give them out when you go door knock. I'm sorry, keep them in your car. So if you run into somebody that is looking at a certain zip code, if you're going to door knock, print out a bunch of them. And my approach when I door knock is I'm not asking them to list. I'm asking if they know of somebody, because what that does is it takes it down a notch. You know what I'm saying? It takes it down. He's just trying to hustle me. He's trying to get me to sell. No, what I'm doing here is, hey, listen, I'm dropping off this smart chart here for zip code 20715. You can see right now that there's only 5 houses for sale in this area. So what it's saying is we're really looking for people that want to list their properties. Do I have any buyers? Well, yeah, our office has tons of people looking for properties, and we really don't have the amount of listings. So do you know of anybody that might be looking to list their property in the next few weeks? Do you know of anybody? Not, are you looking to list your house? So it takes that away. So Smart Charts is a great way to do it. Prospecting is with using the door hangers and really works. Like we would do that around our open, I could talk about the day before open houses, teaching and speaking opportunities. It's a great way to do it. Meals, offering discounts. There's an agent in another office that's doing for 314 Pi Day. He's worked out a deal with a local pizza shop. They're going to offer a large plain pizza for $3.14. And he's mailing it out with his golden letter to everybody in his sphere of influence in the area that he wants to work. What a great way. What a great way to do it. So consider that as also. Anybody else? Any other things that you've tried with prospecting or have questions about?
I have worked with children a lot in volunteer work and charity work, and just made a lot of contacts. And 20 years later, I'm still getting calls from these people asking me to help them with real estate. You got to stay in contact, but when you make those contacts, you come from a position of knowledge and information, and not asking them for business, but just letting them know what you know and how you could help people who are looking to buy or sell. And they'll keep your name. They'll call you back.
Yeah, that's great. You said that, because here's what's interesting. There's an agent in our office who has been around. I think she's been over 40 years, and she keeps joking that she wants to get out of it, selling residential. She wants to concentrate more on commercial. But what keeps happening is now not the older folks that you've dealt with from 40 years ago. They retired and moved into their retirement homes, and then their children and now their grandchildren are starting to buy houses. And it's just like she laughs and she goes, it just never ends. And that's a good thing, because what she's done is she's come from value, she's come from contribution, and that's why they want to use her. And what you're saying is really perfect, because we have an agent in our office, has been around a long time. And what she says is, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not here to sell real estate. I'm here to help you.
Yeah, I call myself a consultant.
There you go.
Your real estate consultant for life is my tagline.
Is it really great? Great.
Yeah.
I use my tagline when I was a very active agent was selling solutions, not promises.
I like
A
that.
good one.
Selling solutions, not promises. Because what do agents do? Many agents.
Promise, promise, promise.
Right. And they don't deliver. They don't deliver. And what is the old, anybody remember what the 3 Ps are? Put it on the MLS, put a sign in the yard, and pray that that thing sells. But what I do is I do the 4th one. I do a 4th P, and that's called prospecting. And that's what you need to do. Because here's the thing, you wake up every morning, you're unemployed. I mean, you're not employed. You're a 1099, you're an independent contractor. So what you do today gets you paid in 90 days. If you don't do anything today, it's not happening for you. It's not happening. And in 60 days, when you don't have a check to cash, you're going to go back 60 days prior and realize you didn't do anything that day. You didn't do anything the day before. You didn't prospect. You didn't have your perfect day where you said 2 hours every single day, I'm going to prospect. You didn't do it. And because of that, in 60 days, you don't have a check to cash.
Steve?
Yes.
I have a question about teaching and speaking opportunities. What kind of things would that cover, and what would you teach and speak about?
Well, yeah, that's great. And I'm going to kind of take it from somebody that I've learned about on YouTube that I love, that I think will work locally. So there's a guy on YouTube who used to be a KW agent. I encourage you to go look at his stuff. His name is Malcolm Lawson. He's on YouTube, and what he does is he uses, and this kind of jumping ahead, he doesn't talk about real estate a lot. What he does is he talks about, for example, top 10 places to move to in Maryland, top 10 parks in Maryland, top 10 restaurants. So that would be a way to come have speaking opportunities. Talk to your local schools. Schools, for example, my niece teaches elementary school, and she likes to bring people in once a month prior to COVID, bringing people once a month that would talk about different types of careers and stuff like that. But you also try to get in front of, if you're active, like with the PTA, getting in front of the PTA, having your elevator speech. Does everybody know what an elevator speech is?
I don't.
Okay.
I would love to know.
All right. Elevator speech is tell what you do in 30 seconds or less. Anybody want to take a shot at it? Okay. My elevator speech is this. I am Director of Business Development and Coaching at Keller Williams Select Realtors in Annapolis, and my job is to get agents into production. All right, Carol, go ahead.
So my elevator speech is, make sure you guys can hear me. My elevator speech is when they say, oh, what do you do? I'd be like, oh, I'm a matchmaker. And of course their eyes light up. I say, for property. I help people. Yeah. So and then they kind of chuckle, and then I can go on to keep talking.
Absolutely. Anybody else have one? It's good to have it. It's good to have that elevator speech. It's an important part of it. But going back to teaching, so that's the way you can do it. Also teaching in your own office, teaching about stuff that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be about real estate. It can be about other things. Start things within your brokerage, because you not only want to prospect customers, you want to prospect with agents. You want to build relationships with agents. I'll give you an example. I have an agent in my office that right now is at capacity. And so we work today on him trying to figure out how to delegate some of his business out to other agents in the office to keep him going. Go ahead, Carol. Oh, I thought you had another question. I'm sorry. All right. So any more questions about for us also networking events, booths, and kiosks? I love to do for prospecting. I love to do garage sales. I mean, what I do is on a Saturday in the spring and summer when I was really out there hustling, is I would take a bunch of business cards, take some smart charts, hit every garage sale in my area, every yard sale. Because, and I come from value and contribution, coming up and just going, oh, wow. So all right, you know anybody that's looking to move in the area? Again, I don't say them. Do you know of anybody? And then they'll chuckle and go, no, I don't know anybody. And I go, well, what are you doing here? You downsizing? A lot of times, I'm just getting rid of junk. But that's a good way to prospect and get a lot. I do in Southern Maryland. I used to do a lot of the neighborhood kind of yard sales kind of things, and not yard sales, excuse me. We have booths. Everybody sits up and sells different stuff, like the food market there here in Annapolis. So that kind of thing really works really well. Booths and kiosks. For example, we have an agent in our office that loves to do big wedding events where they have all the brides and grooms come in and look at vacation, things like that. She goes in there as talking about first-time home buyers and stuff like that. Walk-ins, going into businesses, walking into a business, coming from contribution. Hey, listen, I just wanted to stop in and say hi. And hey, listen, if you ever want to work and do something together, for example, can offer an oil change for $19.95, and I'd like to advertise that to my people. Another thing to prospect is to do live Facebook feeds or record them, interview somebody, a local business. Really a great way to do it. And I think I saw a hand raised. Was it Donna?
Yeah. Yeah. Places to speak, senior centers and landlord associations, they're always looking for free speakers, and landlords are not always realtors. They are, just investors. So that's a great place. As far as kiosks, the home shows that are going to be coming up, you get a booth there. You get one of your partners, your lender or title company or home inspection company or someone like that to go in with you. You put together a nice giveaway basket, and you get people to fill out their information on a little card, and then you pull the winners, and then you do that. Or fire carnivals, get a booth at a fire carnival. So lots and lots of places that you can
there's one of the agents in our office, and this is a great one. You guys can steal and do it your places, is a shredder event. Partner with a local business like the Elks. Go to the Elks and say, hey, listen, what I'd like to do is like the partner. I'd like to have a title company, have a couple lenders come out, and I'll be there with some of my agents, and we'll have a shredder event. Do it around the time that taxes are due. A great way to prospect. And from what I understand, it's not that much money, and you can partner with your lender and your the title company and whoever else you want to get involved, the staging company, whoever. And honestly, you're probably not going to have to spend a nickel except your time. So that's a great way also. And thank you for that. That is also good. I was drawing a blank on what to call those things. Any other ideas about prospecting?
Steve, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is a fire carnival?
I'm sorry, say it again, please.
What is a fire carnival?
You want to explain that, Donna?
In the county that I am, we don't have a county fire department. All the fire department are all volunteers. And so to raise funds every year during the summer, each one of our fire departments in the county holds a carnival event to raise money. And they are looking for booths and all kinds of things. They have rides. It's a carnival.
Okay, I got you. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they want to add?
Steve, I have a quick question. On the previous slide, you were talking about the difference between marketing and prospecting. And at the top, you said that, that it's a long-term, the marketing is expensive, it's passive, and it's more long-term oriented. And you were talked about an example of somebody sending out postcards and how frequently they do that. If one were to get into a postcard type of marketing thing, are you saying that it's a good idea to send them out at like specified intervals, like every 3 months, every 6 months, or something like that?
Actually, it's more like 6 weeks. About every 6 weeks.
To the same person?
Yep.
Wow.
It's rinse and repeat to the same person, because what you're doing is you're building a image in their mind so that when they see that card, they know that it's you. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Donna.
I was just going to say, I send out a letter to my top 100 prospects or referral partners once a month. And then once a month, I also send them an email. In that letter that goes out, we call it an item of value. And so it's a flyer that gives information about taxes, home improvements, all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be exactly home related, but it's good information, and it's quick. It's one page, glossy. They get that with a little letter from me. Hey, how you doing? Here's a little more information for you. And then later in the month, they'll get an email from me that says something maybe along the same lines.
Okay, anybody else? Yeah, one of the things that I do is I keep these in my desk. Thank you cards. And it's great because I can take 5 minutes and send out a card to somebody. And I also have blank ones. For example, I sent out 4 last week to different people that I had not heard from, but I just sent them just a quick handwritten note. And what happens, honestly, is they respond to that. They say to you, "Oh my God, I haven't gotten a handwritten thank you note in forever." So it's a great way. It's a great way to also stay in contact. Okay.
All right. Something else I've done is our community, the community that I live in, we do a yard sale twice a year. Mm-hmm. Put some stuff out, whatever you have. And when people come up, go, "Oh, do you live in the neighborhood? Do you want to live in the neighborhood? Where do you live?" And then it just kind of snowballs from there to let them know that you're a realtor. And if they're planning to move, downsize, upsize, you're here, and it's a face-to-face interaction. So I feel like I trust people more when I talk to them face-to-face than just getting postcards over and over in the mail.
Absolutely.
But when I see them at the coffee shop and go, "Hey, I remember you," or things like that, just that's worked pretty well for me.
That's actually a great way to do it. Neighborhood yard sales. And what she said there, Brandy said there, is really smart, is do it yourself. If your neighbor doesn't have a twice a year event, why don't you start it?
Yes. And then you have a lead in to ask, "Oh, what street do you live on? Are you living in this neighborhood? And do you want to live in this neighborhood?" So it's a lot easier for me versus cold calling or door knocking or any of that. And do you know anybody else? Does any of your family want to live near here? Or there's a lot of lead-ins that you can use with a yard sale in your own community.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's a great way to do it. Another thing is taking the idea of like an outside market and taking a couple cases of water on a wagon and just giving them out with a piece of information about the services you provide, and very inexpensive, and it's a great way. And like what Brandy is saying there is it is also a lead in for the future. Like you run into the coffee shop and, "Oh my gosh, hey, how are you doing?" Or you see them at the gas station. So it's a great way. It's a great way to do it. Absolutely. So we're going to deep dive now. So anyway, prospecting, marketing, enhanced. So what we're talking about here is we'll talk about being prospect based, but we are going to have marketing. So there are different things. There's door knocking, there's agent referrals, there's open houses, and there's social media. Okay. Now, is anybody doing any of these right now? I know a couple of you have talked about door knocking. Anybody? I know open houses have been kind of taboo the last couple of years. Anybody had opportunity to do open houses recently?
I haven't done an open house, but I do a lot of agent to agent referrals.
Okay.
Just whenever I meet another agent, especially from another area of the state or other states, exchange information. Hey, if you ever have anybody looking in my area or I have someone looking in your area, we could do some business together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a great way to do it. I've done 7 or 8 referrals to agents in other states that I have referred out. I've received, last couple of years, I've received 3, but I've sent out 7. Now, you're probably saying, how did that happen? How does it happen? Thank you. What I do is on my personal page, I post houses that are unique in other areas of the country or other places of the world. For one of my favorite sites is called For the Love of Old Houses. And what I do is I post on there that I can help you buy that house. And that starts a conversation. And when I first started doing that a few years ago, first person to call me was a person I had not seen since 1970, but she was a Facebook friend. And she said, Steve, I have a house in New Orleans I'd like to sell. Is there any way you can help me? Guess what? We sold her house. Since then, I've referred people out from Philadelphia, Delaware, Florida, Texas, Phoenix, Lexington, and New Orleans. And it's a great way. Agent-to-agent referrals are great. Is it Nisi? Yeah, Nisi, go ahead.
Hi, yes. So I've referred agents. What I've been running into recently is that, they're hyped up. They seem to be great. They get great referrals on Facebook, but they just can't seem to get the job done. So then my people end up going to someone else that I don't know or something like that.
Okay.
Any tips around that?
Absolutely. So what I do is I never make the decision of which person to send to the client. All right. What I do is I interview 3 or 4 and then send them the names and let them make the call on the final decision. That is the difference there. Because if you make the decision, you say this is the agent and it doesn't work, what happens?
Right. They don't call me. They go to somebody else.
Right.
On their own.
Absolutely. Okay. I got to see a couple raised hands. So let's go. I can't see who it was. So whoever will raise your hand, just go ahead and we'll get it figured out.
Okay. It's Donna.
Hi, Donna.
I can tell you, I referred my niece. And I called an office close to where she wanted to move. And I called and spoke to the manager and said, hey, it's a young couple, blah, blah, blah. Gave them a lot of details. I said, who do you have that you think would be a good fit? He said, oh, my top agent, blah, blah, blah. So and I always tell my clients, because they're still my clients in my mind.
Yep, absolutely.
That if it doesn't work out or if there's a problem, please call me and keep me in the loop because I want to make sure that you're being taken care of and that things are going well for you. Right. So within a week, my niece called me and she said, Donna, you either find us somebody else or my husband is going somewhere else. He said, this woman just looks down her nose at us. Our deal isn't large enough for her, blah, blah, blah. So I called the manager back and I said, whoa, we got a problem. And I explained it. And he said, and I said to him, listen, I need grandma who's going to hold their hand, make them feel good, get them excited about buying their first home. I don't need a top producer who's going to push, push, push and just run like 100 miles an hour. They're scared. They need hand holding. He said, I know exactly who to send them to. We switched over and he took care of the switch over. He took care of that for me and switched it over to this other grandma type agent. And they fell in love and they found their house and it all worked out in the end. But I always tell someone when I'm referring them, keep in contact, and that it's my job too to keep in contact.
Sure.
And I let the other agent know that, hey, here are my people. I know you're going to do a great job, but I'm going to check in. And if it's actually been a referral within the state, sometimes I will stay involved but I let the agent know, hey, this is what I like to do because these people mean so much to me. And usually if it's a good agent, they're not going to be upset by you staying in touch. They're not. They're going to feel like you're making their job easier because you're all working together for the same goal.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that I also do, and you touched on something I think is really important, is sometimes the biggest agent is not the best agent for you. In other words, the one that's selling 60 houses a year may not be what your client needs. So what I tend to do when I'm looking, I look at who the client is, and that's kind of what Donna is saying there. Then I take a look at the people, and I use the referral network in Command, and that's how I drill down. So what I do, for example, in New Orleans, I looked at where this house was, and then I drill down, and I'm going to be honest, I look for people that are not on teams, because what's going to happen is the rainmaker is going to take the call. The rainmaker is not going to be handling it. He's going to hand it off. And I don't know who it's being handed off to. So what I try to do is try to look for a buyer. For example, if it's a buyer agent, look for a buyer's agent that's a solo that I can talk to, that's got some sides that I know and I can sense is going to have time for them. Same thing with the listing. It's very important, because if your client is unhappy, and I've had that happen, where the client is unhappy with the agent, it's going to affect what business you get from them in the future. It really is. So interview more than one. Try to make them, again, it's your own business, but I like my clients to make the decision. Now, I narrow it down to just a couple of agents from the ones I talk to, but that's what I do. All right. Prospecting based, marketing enhanced, door knocking. Door knocking is a great way to do it. A lot of people don't like it. I don't want to describe it. They just, they're afraid of it. I always say, do it 2 people. It's a great way to do it, and makes the time go a lot faster. So what you do is you want to approach, act, ask in advance. Okay. So what that means is you approach, is you knock the door and you step away from the door, just to give a little bit of space. Okay. Now, anybody in this group, have you done any door knocking? Probably new agents with COVID probably haven't had a lot of it, but this is a great way. So get another agent, go approach, knock on the door, step back. Okay. Now, as far as, yes.
Someone asked, this is Donna, if I got a referral fee. And yes, I did. Absolutely. And I negotiate that with the agent too. That's something. And then we get paperwork signed before we actually connect the two.
I missed that. Thank you.
And someone else had a question. What is a rainmaker?
Okay. What is a rainmaker? A rainmaker is the person that runs your team. If you're on a team. And what a rainmaker does is their job to provide you with leads. So on teams, if you're on a team, the head of your team is what's called a rainmaker. They're the ones that are providing you with leads. All right, that's what it is. So in coaching, for example, we have a similar system, and I'm the rainmaker for my team, all the people in coaching. So that's where the leads flow from. So if you're on a team, you'll be getting leads from your rainmaker or from the team lead. Okay, now you can also do the referral stuff. You can do completely through Command. You don't even need to print out any documentation anymore. The referral agreement can go right through it. And yes, I apologize for not mentioning that. Thank you, Donna. I usually negotiate about a 25% referral fee, and it's usually not a question of there's no problems at all with that. Let's talk about it. So what are your limiting beliefs? Why are you scared? Everybody scared to do door knocking, or just haven't thought about it? What are your thoughts?
I could not see doing door knocking just with the climate. I just would be scared to death of somebody feeling like I'm trying to do something to them. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I have it. But I do have my marketing material together because I'm trying to get over that. Because I've been doing real estate a long time. I've never door knocked. But So you got any good tips? I would have knocked and backed up anyway, but.
Well, you know, I tell you, one of the things to do with door knocking is you can target a little bit with door knocking. In other words, you don't have to knock on every door in the neighborhood. You can just target people that have what are called medium or high sell scores. So you can go into Remind, and Remind will tell you who is more likely to sell their house in the next 6 months or in the next year. So that's a great way to figure out your door knocking. So you can say, okay, I'm going to look in zip code 20713, and I'm going to look for people that have a medium to high sell score. And Remind, again, through the MLS, will tell you who those people are in that neighborhood. You can print out a list and just go knock on their door. Or if you're concerned about it, just go and put a door hanger on there. Another thing that I use, and I use this around elections, and it works really, really well. I go to Sam's Club, pick up a couple cases of Smart Pop, the individual bags. I take a smart chart for the area, attach it to it with my business, has it's branded to me. And when people were coming in to vote, I say, thanks for popping in to vote. Sounds hokey, but I gave out over 240, I think, the last election. So 240 people in my zip code, in my precinct, then got that marketing information and got my business card. So it's a great way. Same thing with doing, door knocking. It's a great way to do it. But you have to approach, you have to act, you have to ask, and you have to advance. What is that? Give them something from contribution. Give them a smart chart. Tell them a little about something about that's going on in the area. For example, I was with a team, and what we were doing was a coat drive. So another thing for door knocking is come from contribution. Say, hey, look, I'm doing a food drive this spring. What we're doing today is we're just running around letting everybody know that we're going to be back on Saturday. If you have any food you'd like to donate, just set it at the end of your driveway and we'll pick it up and thank you. It's a great, I've done this before. I think we did it with coats. We did it up in Pennsylvania. I think we'd had over 1,300 coats that we collected over about a 3-week period. So there are some great ways to do that, to get over just door knocking. Okay. Now, so after you've after you've acted, then you ask. What's that? Ask. And again, I always ask, do you know of anybody in the area that's looking to sell? I never ask them, are you looking to sell? That's just my technique. You can use it however you want. Advance, what do you do with that information? You put them into a smart plan, into command, so that you can work with them. All right. Agent referrals we've been talking about. You maintain, you grow, and you manage. Very important. We've talked a little bit about that, so we don't need to go there. And you can go into the command tab for referrals, and right there will show you. It's very easy to do. You can send and receive referrals in there. You can broadcast a referral, and it has map search features. For example, there was one, I guess for about 4 or 5 months ago for Annapolis, and they just broadcast a referral to every KW agent in the area that they were looking for someone to handle one of their clients. Open houses, prepare, prospect, and pursue. Open houses are going to come back as COVID is starting to go away as far as it concerns. Open houses are a great way to get business, especially for new agents. I love them. I'm going to tell you how they work and what's interesting about them. I had a client, an agent in our office who needed me to do an open house for him here in Annapolis. So I went, I did the open house. Guy came in with his girlfriend. We talked for a little bit. Noticed a little bit of, they were very nervous. Ended up giving me a fake name, fake email address, and fake phone number. But guess what happened? They contacted me 30 days later. Because after all the people that were trying to sell to them, I wasn't trying to sell for them. I was trying to help them. I was trying to be that consultant. I was trying to be that problem solver. Now, were they a little embarrassed that they'd give me all that fake information? We never even discussed it. What's interesting about it is they ended up buying, but they ended up buying in Canton, in Baltimore, not in Annapolis. Open houses are a great way to pick up buyers. Those of you that have been agents for a while, is that house going to sell through that open house? Is a buyer going to walk in and say, I'm going to buy this house?
Very few do.
Very few, absolutely. But they're going to buy somewhere else. And so that's why they're really important. But you have to prepare for the open house. You have to go there. You have to be ready. You have to know the property. You have to know the area.
Hey, Steve, I did one of my first open homes, and I used a QR code as they came in the door, and then I used it inside the house to give me information whether they liked, what they didn't like, and they all scanned it and got back to me. And wow, in this day and age, I thought it was a really great tool that people didn't want to write their names down and didn't even want to touch pens. So they used the QR code, which everyone has on their phone. They just take a photo of it and they then gave that information to me. And I thought that was a great tool.
That's a great, I hadn't even thought of that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea, because that's one of the big reluctances. They don't want to give the information. One of the things that I do is I have it on my tablet. I use it. It's called Open House Pro. It's a free app you can get from Apple or from the Play Store and download and put on your tablet. And what I do is I will stand there and say, oh, hi, how are you doing? Welcome to 13 Muirs Court. You're going to love this property. Can I get your name? And
right. And I was on the second floor of an apartment area, and I just put the sign down on the bottom that they had to scan before they came up, and I used COVID to my advantage, and they all scanned it, and I got all their details, and I was like, you know what? Because when I talk to people, it's fine, but because I've got an accent, all of a sudden I go on another tangent with them. So it's a good and a bad thing, but everyone seemed to be, in this day and age, the QR code made them feel safer because they had to scan it. And I said it was for contact tracing purposes because of COVID. So they all wanted to do it to be safe. And I got the details straight away.
Yeah, you know, what you're saying is good, because it's important, because that's what is happening now, is that folks are using things like these codes and stuff like that. And it's easier to get information from people because they understand. They understand that in this day of age of COVID, they're going to have to give their information.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. So we prepare for the open house. We learn about the property. We prospect. Once we get their information, we put them into command and we start putting them on plans, whether it be a smart plan or whether you put them on an MLS automatic drip. Does everybody know what an MLS automatic drip is?
No.
Okay, no. So what automatic MLS drip is, where you would set up a search for someone on an MLS that will do an automatic search for them that will deliver their results by email, however you set it up. For what I do with my clients is I have them set up on drips. I call them drip campaigns, or automatic emails, that based on their criteria, based on the fact that they want to live in Eastport, their price range is 800 to 1.2, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and oh Lord, they want off-street parking. You can put all that into the criteria, the MLS, set it up as an automatic drip. So what ends up happening is the moment a property goes into the MLS that meets that criteria, the next morning at 6 a.m., it goes out to that client.
Okay.
So,
just did one today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
How did it go?
My first one.
How'd it go?
It was very easy. I mean, and I let them know that they're going to start getting it. And if they had any questions or wanted more information about something they saw, to just give me a call back. And I also said to let me know if anything is not what they want, I can change it or whatever.
Absolutely. And the great thing about it now is when you go in, once you've got that set up, now tomorrow morning, when you go into your MLS, you go into your carts, you're going to see whether or not they were in there. It'll show up on your screen that they were in that portal.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And then I had it sent to me as well. So I got to see exactly what they got. Right.
Now, I'm going to give you a little secret about it, because what's going to end up happening is they can contact you by notes through that MLS portal. Okay. So what you want to do though, you want to go in there every day and take a look at what they're seeing. Because here's what will happen. Steve, I love that property at 123 Main Street. And you're going to panic and go, oh my God, what property at 123 Main Street? And you're going to log in real quick and take a look at it. So try to go in there every day to take a look and see. But it also shows you who is active and who's not active. It really does. So it's a great tool that a lot of agents don't use, that can help you stay in touch with your client. Okay. Pursue is basically staying after them, putting them on smart plans and following up. How many times do you need to reach out to a person before you give up?
Is it, well, it's till they say, is it 3 times or until you get a firm no? 7?
Forever, until they die or threaten you with a lawsuit.
I love that, till they die. By the way, the other day I had an agent say we needed a new tag in Smart Plans. I said, what was it? He goes, deceased. I was like, ow, ouch. But yes, absolutely, you stay after him. Gary Keller says this: there are no bad leads. There is bad follow-up. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that lead you may think is a bad lead, but they have friends. And if you stay in contact with them, even if they can't afford to buy, they're going to tell people that Steve Thomas has stayed in contact with me for 2 years. I think you should talk to him about buying a property. And that's what you do. It's staying in contact with them and just staying in contact with them. That's what you do. I have a client that just went active. And the reason I said the 2 years, I've had a guy that's been on a drip for 2 years. And he finally reached out to me. I mean, I've had him on drips, send him texts, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, nah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And finally, after 2 years, he sent me a message that he's ready to buy. So you add your contacts, you follow up, you stay top of mind. That's it. And you just constantly do it. And we talked about open house. You can host a speaker. You can offer a gift, get the house in showing shape, go live. I use lenders all the time, and lenders will bring all kinds of food. Get one of your lenders, and they'll bring the cupcakes, they'll bring all the drinks and everything. They'll bring all kinds of marketing stuff, pens, blah, blah, blah. Get somebody like that. Offer a gift. I like to offer $25 gift cards. That's what I do. Another way to do it is partner with another agent. Give away a 27-inch color TV. They're not that expensive anymore. And do it over the course of a month and get 3 or 4 agents. It's not going to cost you anything. Get the house in showing shape. Make sure the house is ready. Go live. Do a 1 minute go live on Facebook about the property. Absolutely. It's a great way to do it. Social media. Social media is really important. You've got to select your social media. And then you go out and you seek people. 1 second, let me get to my screen. So what you do is you have to figure out what social media you want to be active on. Okay, so what social media are you guys active on right now?
Facebook.
Instagram,
YouTube.
All right, who's doing any on TikTok? Who's doing TikTok?
Not consistent.
Okay. Instagram? How about Reels?
Yeah.
Reels?
No, I'm doing Instagram.
Okay. How about Reels, the new Facebook feature?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are all great ways to do it. And there's great ways to do it that won't cost you a lot of money. I'm going to give you a couple tips. Keeping Current matters. It's a website that has contact, real estate contact information. It's free if it's not branded to you. So you can go on there and download all the content you want. It won't be branded to you, but it's stuff that you can post on your pages without any cost. If you wanted to pay, I think it's $49 a month. There's all kinds of incredible stuff that you can brand that can post. And the great thing about it is it will automatically post to your business page, automatically post to your website. So you don't have to fool with it. It's one piece you don't have to fool with. If you want to do it yourself, I do mine on Sundays. Every Sunday morning, I sit down, I look through my content, I figure out what I'm going to do, and then I schedule it out over the course of the week, and it's done. And you share, and then you service.
Okay, so the paid subscription you can schedule, but the
yeah, and it's also branded to you.
Right.
So your name is on it. So at the end, for example, the videos, at the end of the video, it will have your contact information. Whereas if it's not branded to you, it'll just have that information. It won't have any information at all. So if you want to take a look at it, go to Keeping Current Matters. It's a great site. There's other sites. Realtor.com has a ton of information on it. Maryland Board of Realtors has stuff. There's stuff, all kinds of stuff out there. So it's easy to do. Okay. So schedule your post, figure out your branding, create your presence. You have your business page. You cannot advertise on Facebook or Instagram unless you have a business page through KW. Okay. Does everybody know about advertising on KW through Command?
No.
Okay. So you do know that there's some great deals out there. KW partnered with Facebook and Instagram and is giving, I think it's $30 for 10 days. You cannot beat that. We run ads all the time. We're averaging the most recent ads, 24 to 28 leads per ad on a 10-day, $30 spend. That's pretty good.
Steve, I'm sorry. Can you please back up, Steve? Because that's very interesting. I have a Facebook business page, but I still don't know what I'm doing.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, can you please back up on what you just said about posting ads on Facebook through Command?
Okay, yeah. So within Command, you can run ads under campaigns, and under campaigns there is a tab to run ads. What we'll do is after this segment, we're going to take about a 5-minute break. I'll pull up Command and I'll show you where it's located. Okay, and what you can do is you run the ads through there. And there's different types of ads. There's paid ads and there's free stuff and all kinds of stuff. We'll go through that in the next segment. Okay. So,
Steve.
Yes.
When you first started talking about this, you said you opened up by saying something like, "Do you all understand the rules between KW page and Facebook?" Professional page. I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Yes, I have the same question about that statement.
Okay, well, because to advertise on Facebook and Instagram through KW, you have to do it through your business page. It has to be connected to business page. That's what I was saying.
What business page?
You create a Facebook business page.
Uh-huh.
So what you should do is create a page that is just for your business. So for example, mine is Steve Thomas, KW Realtor. And once you've created that business page, you connect it through Command under the settings tab, and then you can run ads. Okay. But unless you connect those two, you can't do it.
Okay.
All right. Now you can talk to your tech ambassador within your brokerage, and they can probably help you with how to connect those things. If you don't know how to connect them, they can help you with that.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
There are two types of Facebook pages, which I didn't know either until this came into it. But there are personal pages and professional pages or business pages. And when you go in to to start a new Facebook page, you have to decide which one. If you advertise of any kind on a personal page, they can shut you down, and they have done it. So you don't want to advertise on your personal page because that'll get you in trouble. The only place that you can advertise anything, be it through KW or anyone else, is on your professional page, is on your business page. So that's the difference. And it took me a long time before I found that out. Luckily, I found it out before I got in trouble and advertised on my personal page, because I do know people who lost their personal page because they did that unknowingly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you able to just share to your personal page from your professional page though?
Oh, I do. Yeah, absolutely. You can, I'll post some, yeah, I'll post something on my business page and I'll share it to my personal. Yeah. But traditionally though, what I do is I post separately. I don't share it. I'll just post. But what you did, you just led into this really perfectly, is social media. You see that screen?
Mm-hmm.
It's very important that you do not every single day just post about real estate, because what will happen is people will tune out. So you want to do a 20-80, 20% about business, 80% about personal. Now, personal doesn't mean that you talk about the kittens in your lives. You can talk about the kittens in your lives, but you can also talk about great restaurants you went to last week, or hey, anybody go to I'm looking for a new Thai restaurant. Anybody know a good place I can get Thai food? Or I'm looking for a new live venue to go to concerts. Anybody know? That's what we mean by personal. But and then business is we have an agent in our office that does this to just absolutely the best. And what he does is he has found his page has exploded because he's following this model.
His business page?
No, he's doing this on his personal page.
Okay.
But he's doing this on his personal page. On his business page, it's more business. But on his personal page, where he's trying to get some engagement and then drive them to his other page, is he's doing mostly stuff personal. For example, which artist did you not see that would you like to see, that has passed? Another one is who should be in the Hall of Fame in baseball that's not. Then the next day is why renting is not a good idea right now. And then the next day he'll do, something else that's personal. But he's got a great mix. And what he's doing is the way the logarithms work is that the more he posts and people interact, it starts showing up. So what ends up happening is on notification screen, you notice that people you interact with more, their notifications show up, absolutely show up. And so that's why you stay engaged. That's why you stay engaged. You also post personal and business. So you've seen all these different sources, but here's the important thing as we wrap up this first session and then take a short break. 80% got 90% of the business from 5 sources or less. So what you have to do is take a look at your prospecting, figure out 2 or 3 things that are going to work for you, that you think are going to work for you, and you concentrate on those. Don't do the shotgun approach because it's not going to work. Narrow down your focus to the things that you think are going to work for you. Then work on those and give it a few months. Do not say, oh my God, this didn't work after 30 days, I give up. So you're going to list the stuff that you think you'd like to do. You're going to prioritize the things that you think will work for you. And then you're going to focus. You focus on those 5, but actually paying attention to the top 2. Now, these are just no particular order. This is just this particular plan. Figure out what's going to work for you. Now, low intensity, low cost, social media. Door knocking, calls to spear, newsletters, and open houses. develop the plan. All right. Any questions about what we've talked about? Any ahas? Okay, I learned some stuff tonight, so I appreciate it. Anything you feel differently about prospecting? Anything that you want to try? Any behaviors you want to change that you think it might help you move forward with prospecting?
I have an aha. Like, I was totally opposed to door knocking, but I like that you said you could take the selective approach using like a Remind or a Home Snap or something where they're highly likely. And if I do get a little scared or intimidated, I can always leave a door hanger and call them or send them a letter. So absolutely, yeah. I mean, and it's always good to do it with one other person. You know, in this day and age, I would always suggest that when I do it, I would always do it with someone else, and it works. Especially, go ahead.
I got a question about you saying that. So if you and I go door knock a community and we're both realtors, how does that work? Is it like, okay, Carol, you and I are going to go do Bunkabone subdivision, and then we'll go over to Jack Smith subdivision, and I'll do that one?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. They're just there to keep you company. So that's a great way to do it. You can do it by on this street. Anything we get is mine. On next street, anything you get is yours.
I wanted to share, I didn't share before, but I've been door knocking, and what we normally do is we do every other house. I take one house, the other agent takes the next house, and we keep, you know, rotating like that.
Okay.
The house.
All right. Anybody else?
Wait, I just want to add, now with my farming material, I had already pulled up my names and Remind. I already know who the high people are. I'm just still scared to go out. But in that case, the way she just explained it, which is awesome.
Oh, you're mute.
Y'all didn't hear anything I said?
No, I didn't.
I said, thank you, Queen. I said, so like, if I do all the work with I just got to figure that out. I like what she said, that you share the houses, but if I've already looked up in Remind and I know they have a high factor and I've done all the work, call me petty. I don't necessarily
what
want to
we
share.
do is we share that list. We before we go out door knocking, we have a list of we pull our lists, do a list from Michael. Oh gosh, what is it called? Michael
Lewis. Michael Lewis Marketing Suite.
Leroy. Yes, we go to Michael Lewis Marketing Suite.
Scott Leroy.
And through the Michael Lewis, we set up a flyer of houses that have sold or houses that are on the market. And we use that as a way to ask them, hey, were you aware of the values of the properties in your area are going up? Would you be interested in getting an equity wealth analysis done on your property to know where you stand in the market? And that's the way we approach it. And like I said, we share that we all have the same exact list because we're in the same neighborhood where those houses are either they're sold or they're on the market or they're pending. Whichever one that's going on right there in the market for our list, and we print them out. So we give that flyer to the person so they can look at what their neighbors are doing in that area, and we go from there. It's not like we don't see it as, oh, I've done all the work. We're all door knocking together, and we're like, it's plenty out there for everybody. So. I've been out and I've gotten no prospects, and my other colleagues, they've gotten more prospects than I did. I mean, I just took it as, this wasn't my day, and I'm happy for them and they're happy for me. And we still continue to do it that way.
That's great. So have you had a lot of success with it went on?
I have not, but my colleagues have, because I haven't been out as much as they have because I'm a dual agent.
Okay.
So to go out more so than I have. So they have had a lot of success with going door knocking. We actually have a group at our office under growth and development called PUSH. And that's persist until success. Oh gosh, I just forgot. Is persist until, oh gosh, they're gonna kill me.
Until success happens.
Yes, thank you, sis. got that
I was
quick.
gonna say thank you, Gwendolyn, for everything that you have said, because I have not had much success door knocking, and to hear you talk about it just gives me it's positivity.
Thank you, Brandy. Yeah.
Brandy, it does work. It does work.
It does.
It really does.
I think I haven't given it enough time because I think I just was so down on myself about it. Mm-hmm. And I need to give it more time.
Yeah. I've been in this I've been a realtor for 8 months now, and that's like I want to like sell and buy, help people buy and sell today. And I know it's time because we don't really know everything we need to know, but I'm still trying to do something. And that's one way to get out there. I'm nervous as heck. It took me a while with door knocking and what to say. From a
and also you saying you're a dual agent, because I'm also working full-time plus.
Yes.
And
I have a family.
It is exhausting. Yes, I have kids, and
you're not if you want to call me
I eventually want to quit my full-time job is my goal.
Yeah, you can do that because I have 2 years. I'm giving myself 2 years to retirement. I'll have 32 years in the government at that point. But I'm excited for all the possibilities of the future. And, door knocking is just another way for us to get out there and to get clients. So
that's it.
Thank you, Gwendolyn. I'm feeling very inspired.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. If you want to call me and you want to just vent, just call me. I'll put my number in the post here because when I say I'm doing everything right now.
That would be awesome. I would love to talk to you.
Okay, because I'm studying for my Virginia exam.
Y'all need to have this conversation.
I was getting too much into the conversation.
Candace, I'm sorry.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
I also think I agree with you with using another agent. I think 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Correct?
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. That it's kind of like the referral.
Are we at least? Is this on the route?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back at 7:30. And this last half is should only take about 30-35 minutes. And you guys, I want to thank you. You guys been dynamite as far as being engaged tonight, and I thank you because it makes it a lot easier for me. So we're going to take a quick 5. So go grab something to drink, get something to eat, and be back at 7:30, and we'll get started again. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in 5. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started now. Hope everybody's back.
Just so you notice, Steve, Corel Cruz looks like he's had his hand raised for a while.
Oh, really? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Corel, why don't you go ahead? I apologize. I missed you, my friend. I did see that earlier and I missed it.
Hi, my name's Corel.
Hi.
I'm a female. Just so
sorry I missed you.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that. So anyway, I don't want to jump back into the whole door knocking thing, but that kind of like passed me or whatever.
Well, let's go ahead. I apologize.
What I wanted to know was, has anyone had a bad experience doing that? And that's like one reason that I would be hesitant to want to do that, because I don't know, how many doors get slammed in your face, if they answer at all. I just want to know about people's experiences as far as, rejection.
Anybody want to talk about that?
Yeah, I would like to. So far, I've had a pretty positive experience. I haven't had anybody to be rude or nasty. We've actually had people to, basically they talk to us. Nobody's nasty. And I guess is how you approach them, Nobody, I've never had a door slammed in my face. And I mean, my worst experience was we were doing a shred event, and we were in a neighborhood in Woodmore, in Upper Marlboro, and the person talked to me through their ring. And basically the lady said, no, I'm not interested, and can you please remove your flyer from my door? And I said, okay. And then my other experience was I had a young lady, she wanted to debate with me on whether her townhouse was considered a townhouse versus an apartment. She was like, oh, the homeowners association said that, this is no longer a townhouse, this is an apartment. And I'm looking at her like, are you stupid? But, that's her opinion, but I didn't say that to her. But I'm like, no, from the MLS, this is a townhouse. She was like, well, you need to go back and do your research. So she was being,
combative. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day. And that was it. And I walked away.
Okay, I just want to know, if you've ever come across somebody, even though you're just trying to be nice, you know what I mean? Like, and somebody just doesn't want to even doesn't want to hear it at all. Like,
those were my two experiences right there. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. It's just like when you make phone calls, when you cold call. I mean,
right.
It is going to happen. And that's why I always also encourage to go in pairs, because you don't know. But I mean, if it is, I've not heard of anybody, and I was with a team that was very heavy into door knocking and never. Yes, did we have doors slammed in our face? Yeah, once in a while. But those are people that are going to be that way no matter what situation. But I've not heard of any here in our brokerage of any bad experiences. But again, I always suggest do it in teams. So we're going to talk about growing and running business and talk about lead gen. Okay, so marketing versus prospecting. We've talked about that. We went over that the first session, so we're not going to go back through that. Marketing versus prospecting, what they are. Okay. So we're going to basically get into talking to marketing. Again, look at all these different ways to market. It is incredible, all the different avenues there is to market your business. What are some ways that you market your business right now that's kind of maybe that you think works that you want to share with everybody else?
I'll go. I have a magazine that I send out every 2 months, every other month. Mm-hmm. And that goes to people. It helps keep me top of mind. And at first, I didn't really think about it, but I was just kind of like, oh, wow, they're calling me. Oh, they called for me to list their house. Oh, whatever. Then I was like, oh, yes, the magazine. So it kind of keeps me top of mind.
Absolutely. Magazines are great, and they can be relatively inexpensive. And there's some stuff through Command that you can find that newsletters and stuff like that are going to be very, very inexpensive to do. So that's a great way to do it. One that I just heard of recently that I have an agent looking at in another part of over near Ocean City is bus stops. Putting up a sign. You know how the bus stops will rent space for an advertisement, and people go. And I had someone say to me the other day, "Well, people that ride the bus can't afford to buy a house." I go, "Well, that's not what it's about. It's about how many cars pass by on a daily basis. So if you can find a bus stop with a stop sign or a light, you better be advertising on that bad boy, because that's a great way." And now I just looked on offline advertising there. Number 5, bus stop benches. So there are many different ways to prospect, both and to market. And you look at the marketing, there's stuff in here that's very inexpensive and stuff that does cost money. Moving vans, pay-per-click advertising, which we're going to delve into a little bit, social media. There's an agent here in Philadelphia, in Annapolis, that She works at another brokerage, and she's got a great thing. What she does is she interviews local businesses. And it's like a 5-minute thing. And so she goes to a local business and says, hey, listen, if I promote your business, will you do X for me? And what she does is she just does a 5-minute live feed on Instagram and interviews a person about the business. Like, why did you decide to open a consignment shop? Why did you do this? And so what it's helping is helping out both sides. So you look at all these different things. There are tons of ways to market, and they don't have to cost you a lot of money. They don't have to cost you a lot of money. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how do we know where the customer is and how do you meet them?
Excuse me, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you go back to where you said the person interviewed local businesses?
Sure, absolutely.
When she did, I'm sorry, excuse me. When she was okay, how does real estate come up in that interview, or does it ever come up in there? Or does she just introduce herself as a Keller Williams agent, and how does that happen? How does that look?
Yeah, it is nothing about real estate.
Okay.
Nothing about real estate. She does not even mention that she's a real estate agent.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't mention it, but it's in the tag at the end of the interview that says blah, blah, blah with XYZ brokerage. Okay. But the entire conversation has nothing to do with real estate.
And does she put that on her personal page or her business page?
Business page.
Okay.
She puts it on her business page, on her her Instagram account. And then she gives, then she has like weekly contests where she gives a $25 Starbucks card. And to anyone that mentions to her in the Instagram comments, she does a drawing once a week, and she'll lift out the name and gives them a $25 Starbucks card. So it's working very well for her, very well for her.
Okay.
You said, at the beginning, you said, she says, what's the exchange? I get that part, but you said—
Okay, could you speak up just a bit? I'm having trouble hearing you.
You said, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
You said that it was an exchange. You was like, she said, if I, would you let me promote your business? Like, I don't understand. It was like, you said something about it was an exchange.
Well, yeah, there can be an exchange. Many times there's not an exchange. It's just an exchange of me talking about your business. And that's the exchange. Or there can be something, as I talked about in the first session, where an individual has partnered with a pizza parlor to do large pizzas for $3.14. I have partnered with a garage in Bowie to do oil changes at a reduced cost. I have partnered with a restaurant where they gave a free appetizer to anyone that came in with the coupon. So there are exchanges that way. And that was very evident during COVID when businesses were really struggling. There were a couple of lenders that what they did is they partnered with a local pizza parlor, and it was pizza kits for kids. And they worked out a great deal. I can't remember the price. It was like $6. And it was basically a medium pizza with the sauce in a bag, the cheese in a bag. And that's all it was. And it was a great way to get exposure for this. This was a brand new pizza parlor. It happened, sadly, to open during the beginning of COVID, and this agent, and it worked very, very well. So that's what it's about. And that's what we're talking about. Okay, so let's do this. So how do you know where your customer is? How are you finding your customers now? How many of you are communicating your value proposition? How many know what a value proposition is? Does everybody know what it is?
What can you offer the customer, the client?
Say it again.
What you can offer the customer or the client.
Right. It's simply stated, it basically means that why a customer should do business with you. Why should they do it? So, for example, using the tagline that I talked about earlier, and I do that during my presentations, is to make sure that they understand that I sell solutions. I don't sell promises. That's my value proposition. So come up with your value proposition. It can be part of your elevator speech. How can you come from contribution? Some of you have mentioned some great ways to do it.
What if you're new?
I'm sorry?
What if you're new?
It's easy, because all you have to do is use the tools that are out there, the smart charts, equity analysis, using the tools like RPR, Realtor Property Resource. It's an MLS, through the MLS product that allows you to do an equity analysis for them. And it's very easy to do. It doesn't take very long. You can either send it to them by a letter, you can send it as an email attachment, you can text it, or you can go, as if you're a medium to high sell score, go knock on the door, drop it off. If you're afraid to knock on the door, just leave it there for them. So that's how you do it. Coming from contribution will get you, trust me, more business than trying to be a salesperson. Absolutely will. Branding is extremely, extremely important. You have to really make sure that you brand yourself, that you're not the secret agent. Everybody know what a secret agent is? Nobody knows you're a real estate agent.
Doesn't know.
Absolutely. And I hear it all the time. Someone will go, I'm so angry. My neighbor listed with XYZ Realty. Well, did they know you were a realtor? How did you communicate with them that you were a realtor? And that's what I hear. I hear silence. Okay. So leads that you get from your marketing, what do you do with them? What do you do with your leads? What are we doing right now with our leads?
Your answer would be command and alerts.
What's that?
Command, put them in command and do alerts.
Right, exactly. Okay, exactly. So through command, you're going to be able to, and we'll go into that in just a bit. We're going to look at some advertising, and then we're going to go into command. I'm going to show you where to find certain things in the last 15, 20 minutes that we have. So taking a look at this, what do you think they're trying to do here? What do you think the purposes of this marketing piece is?
To get you to come to the open house.
Okay. Who do you think the intended audience is for this? Is it a first-time home buyer? Is it a move up?
I would say move up. I'm not sure. It looks a little fancy.
Looks a little fancy to me too. I'd love to have that house. I'm telling you right now. Now, what marketing can you do for this house? Now, this house I would market with this would be something you would door hang. This is something you would door knock with. You can do postcards. Very quickly send out postcards to an area to get this out there. This is a great piece. It's a great piece. Absolutely a great piece. Now, this is another one. This is in command, in designs, and this is what's called neighborhood snaps. So what are they trying to do here?
Generate business.
Generate business. Showing the area. Showing it looks like, hey, the houses are kind of spread out a little bit. Looks like a lot of pools, tennis courts. This looks like my kind of area. Now, $362,000 would not be the listing price where we are, is it? Right? We're lucky to find a darn townhouse with that for people. So, but anyway, that's what this is doing. It's giving them an idea of, I think, of exclusivity. What do you guys think? You think it's a good marketing piece?
Very nice. Very
nice. And I love this one. It's all in the details. Just listed, and pending. I love this piece. Very simple. But what is the message that it's doing? There's a real message in this one. Urgency. showing there's not a whole lot going, a whole lot on the market, and stuff is pending. So it's urgency. You better get this before somebody else gets it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to escape out of the program, and we're going to go into commands. All right. Okay, so we're in command right now, and so we're going to take a look at designs, and that's where the marketing tabs are. We're also going to take a look at campaigns. First, there was a question about connecting your account. So where you connect your account is here under your name, under settings. And as soon as you get up there, there you go. So here's where you would connect. I forgot, I apologize. I don't remember who asked that question, but this is where you would connect your Facebook, and you connect all your apps. So you connect your Facebook, you can connect Twitter, your calendar, your Gmail. If you're going to send text, you want to have a Twilio account. All right. So that's where you would do that. And there has been, I'm going to be honest, there has been some glitches with connecting the Facebook business page to command the last 2 or 3 weeks. So there may, if you're not having trouble connecting, it's probably not you. It's an issue with some kind of a glitch that they're having, and you would just have to put a ticket in for support, and they'll fix it very quickly for you. But it is occurring. So let's take a look at different ways that you can market. First, I'm going to show you campaigns, and then we'll go down to designs. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this from my team account, which is all the folks that are in coaching. So we're going to show you is how successful this is, running these ads, these $30 ads. So I actually hated this one property sold where it says buyers for ducats. This one actually kept having trouble getting to the finish line, and because of no fault of anybody, just buyers weren't able to perform. But we were getting tons of leads from it. And you can see right here, I spent $20.85 and I got 15 leads. That's pretty good, isn't it? I spent $48. I got 23 leads. And the great thing about it is it automatically gives you all the, once they fill out the form, et cetera, you get all the information on them, whether it be, their email address, their phone number, and their name. So it's a great way to do it. As you can see, we do a lot of this. We do a lot of ads. So my computer's kind of freezing just a bit, so just let the computer catch up, and then we'll go into designs. Any questions I can answer so far in the second topic while my computer catches up?
Yeah, you said you're a coach, so you do this and give the leads to your coaching students, or are you doing it close? Yeah, we do. We do. We have folks in coaching. We have leads that we distribute to the folks in coaching. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I'm confused about the campaign. So
okay.
Is a campaign basically a listing?
Okay. Yeah. So let's go. Yeah, now my computer caught up, so we can get into it. All right. So under campaigns, you can do different types of ads, and I'm going to show you. We're going to go into paid ads. Mm-hmm. And then we can do different types of ads. So for example, we can create a campaign, and we have different ways to do this. We can do a social ad, which is a paid ad. We can do social posts. We can do emails or direct mails. So let's go into social ads. Okay. So first thing we would do is we would decide, what are we going to do? What is our purpose? So for example, if we have to enter a campaign name, so we can just say test. And what do we want to do? Do we want to advertise the listing? We don't want to track listings. We want to increase our brand. We want to attract buyers. We want to attract multiple listings. This is a recruiting tab for us because we're always recruiting. Events and other. So for example, let's say you're going to advertise a listing.
How about people that don't have listings and they're just trying to get some?
I'm gonna show you what you do. Hang on one second here. As soon as this computer catches up. So I'll talk about it as we're waiting for it to load. If you don't have a listing, what you do is you reach out to an agent in your office who has a listing, and you just say to them, hey, look, I'd like to, if I could, I'm looking for buyers. Would you mind if I advertised your listing?
Okay.
And that's how you do it. And most of the time they're going to say, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and advertise my listing. And that's what you do. And then you advertise their listing, and any leads that come in, of course, they're going to you. Or you can run attract listings, so just do a generic type of thing. And I apologize, everything is really slowing up here. But that's how you would do it. Let me see if I can exit out and get back in there.
And who does the ad go to?
Okay, so what you can do.
All your contacts?
No. What you would do? No, this would be a generic ad that you would run on Facebook and Instagram. So what you do is you target the area that you're going to want the ad to run. For example, let's say you want to target to first-time home buyers. And in areas, let's say College Park might be a good area because you got college students, graduate school students are just going out. So you would run the ad and target the ad for that area. And you could target it, College Park within 10 miles, Annapolis within 10 miles, Millersville within 10 miles, Upper Marlboro within 10 miles or 20 miles, whatever you want to do. That's how you do it. So this is not going to your sphere. This is going out looking for new business.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if we can get this thing to load. It may be it could be a command issue that sometimes they're what is the word? They're doing stuff and it slows everything up. So that could be what's going on. So let's see if I can just open up one of these tabs, if it will, just so I can show you what it looks like. It's just not loading. I apologize. Yeah, it's not going to load. I think command may be having, it's the only thing I can figure. So anyway, from there, that's where you would be able to create campaigns and be able to run ads. And so we do it pretty successfully. As you can see from the tab, there are a lot of different ads we've been running and a lot of leads that we have coming in. But you run this yourself, and for $30, you're going to have all these leads yourself. And you certainly, your tech person within your brokerage can certainly help you as far as writing it and stuff like that. There are some great, what is the word I want to use? There are some great ways to get what's the word? It'll auto-populate. That's the word I was searching for. I'm starting to get a little tired. It'll auto-populate a lot of the information that you'll use, the listing pictures, the descriptions, and then you can alter it. Some agents are that it's their listing. They may say to you, I want approval before you go out and run this ad. And so that so that's the way. So here's the design area, and this is something that you should take a look at yourself. It's a great way to create. You can create designs, either email, social, print, or video. I'm going to show you. I'm trying to take something that's not a lot of. And this is the KW Design Center, which is a really great center, absolutely great center. And from here, you can pretty much do just about anything you want. You can set up what are called neighborhood snaps. You can set up emails. You can set up, what's the other word I'm searching for? You can set up targeted campaigns, postcards, et cetera, and it really works really well. And again, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with Command, but it's not reacting well right now. So as we try to catch up, are there any questions so far about what I've gone over? Because I would know we're finishing up very shortly.
Can you show us one of your ads, what it looks like?
If I can get this to load, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize. It's really struggling, and I don't know what's going on. We'll see. We'll give it a second and see if it loads.
Are you gonna put your contact information up for us, Steve?
Absolutely, I'll do that right now. We're seeing if we can get this to load. Okay, I apologize. I don't think it's going to load.
When you create a headline in there, what would you put in the headline?
Oh, it depends. You mean as far as it comes down to one of the ones I like is, looking for your forever home. Or another one I've used in the past because I've done some videos is dance like no one's watching. Everybody knows that. Right. That was really popular for a while. And so I did a short 15-second video of showing a dad dancing with his daughter. And, dancing in their living room of their house. And I said, dance like no one's watching. Another one I've run is showing a puppy in the backyard looking very sad and saying, don't you want a bigger yard for Brutus? Stuff like that. So I kind of do funny off kilter kind of stuff. Another one is I've done a video. It got a lot of traction actually. Is now that you're divorced, it's time to buy a new house. And believe it or not, I got a lot of reaction out of it, and it was funny because the ad was done very tongue in cheek. It was fun, but I got a lot of traction out of it. So that is a way also to do it. It appears that Command is not going to come up tonight. Any other questions that I can answer for anybody this evening? Because that was really the last piece was designs.
For the divorce one, what was the picture in the back?
The picture was actually a video, and it was a guy leaning out of the car with his hat, waving it and laughing. That was the video, and it went over very, very well. It went over very, very well. But you have to have fun with that kind of stuff. That's why I was talking about TikTok earlier is another great way. 10, 15 second TikToks, and go on TikTok and look at, type in real estate. You're going to be shocked how much content is out there. It is so much content. So take a look at it. By the way, reach out to me if you want some further instruction about this. I apologize. It is still trying to load Command. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's obviously something is happening. So I appreciate everybody's time. Any last questions before we finish up?
No, thank you very much. You've been amazing.
All right. Well,
yes,
thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. You guys made it because I got the energy from you guys. You really did. So I want to thank you all. I love KW. I love our culture. I love how we share. We're sharing this through the region, and it's a great way. And I loved getting to chat with all of you. And some of you were very helpful. Thank you, thank you, Gadana. Thank you guys all. Okay.
Thank you.
You guys have a great
nice meeting you.
Yep. Nice meeting you guys. Bye-bye.